Hello again, everyone. I'm Toby Burrell. This is Tom Wilmot joining me for the Maroon Strong pregame show. And, we had a week off, Tom, to rest up a little bit, and we're glad to be back with you. Maroon Devil football coming your way in just a few moments. But we got a lot in store for you with another Maroon Strong pregame show. And right out of the chute, Tom, this has been a big week for Swain County High School. It's homecoming week, so we'll have a queen crown tonight. It's also Hall of Fame week. Those two mixed together, and it's been a real good week for Swain County High School.
Yep, it's always a fun week. We've got we inducted some great a great team and some great individuals last night. Yep. So that's like you said, it's been a big week around here. It
has. And speaking of those inductions last night, Jewel Breedlove Loman, Sarah Davis Smiley, Dr. John Maddox, and the 2004 state championship football team all inducted into the Swain County Athletic Hall of Fame last night. And let's cut away for just a brief second and take a look at those four people. Hi, and welcome back. It's always a great trip down memory lane. We want to welcome everyone who's watching on the Maroon Devil Network outside of here, as well as you folks who are here live and in person. We've got a wonderful slate of inductees tonight. We're going to kick things off with a Lady Devil who personified excellence in the field of track and field. She played 4 sports at Swain County High School, but excelled in track, and that's Jewel Breedlove Loman. Jewel was the 2007 North Carolina High School Athletic Association 1A triple jump state champion. In that meet, Breedlove set a new state record and school record with a triple jump of 38 feet 1 1/4 inch. She was also named the 2007 North Carolina High School Athletic Association State Meet Most Valuable Participant. She was a 3-time Smoky Mountain Conference Most Valuable Participant in track and field. She was a member of teams that won 10 Smoky Mountain Conference championships in 3 different sports. The track teams that Jewel were a part of won 4 straight Smoky Mountain Conference championships, and along with that, 4 Western Regional championships. Jewel won 4 consecutive Smoky Mountain Conference 100-meter hurdle championships. As a matter of fact, she did not lose in any of her 4 events during the regular season for her sophomore, junior, and senior seasons. All total, she accumulated 5 Western Regional Championships. She was the 2007 state runner-up in the 100-meter hurdles and the 2008 state runner-up in the triple jump. During her time at Swain, she set school records in each of her events. Jewel Breedlove Lohman, your 2007 state triple jump champion. Our next inductee is another Lady Devil who stood out in multiple sports, playing volleyball, basketball, and softball, Sarah Davis Smiley. Sarah holds a unique distinction of being named Smoky Mountain Conference Player of the Year 5 separate occasions in 2 different sports. She was a 10-time All-Smoky Mountain Conference selection in her 3 sports. Twice she was named All-State in 06 and 07. She was a softball District 8 Player and Pitcher of the Year, an All-Western North Carolina selection in softball, and the North Carolina Softball Coaches Association Western Region 1A MVP in 06 and Pitcher of the Year in 07. Her teams won 6 Smoky Mountain Conference championships in volleyball and softball. In 2006, she led the Lady Devils to their first ever appearance in the North Carolina High School Athletic Association State Championship Series in softball. They were able to follow that up with another appearance in 07. In volleyball, she had 3 consecutive seasons with over 200 kills. Her senior year, she had 230 kills, 45 blocks, 51 aces, 294 digs, while her team finished the season 26-2. In basketball, she scored 910 points and had 548 rebounds during her career. In softball, she finished with a career record of 57-16 with a 1.043 ERA and 688 strikeouts. She had a career batting average of .384 with 16 home runs and 122 RBI. She was the first Swain High Lady Devil softball player to surpass 100 hits for her career in fast pitch history. She threw 15 no-hitters during her career. Once, she struck out 19 of the 21 batters she faced in throwing a no-hitter. In softball, the number 12 is retired in her honor. Sarah Davis Smiley, 3 sports standout and 5-time Smoky Mountain Conference Player of the Year.
Runners on first and second now with 2 down. Down at second base is going to be Kayla Jones. Down at first base, Megan Biggs. Hard shot. This one's all the way back to the fence, and this one is going to be in for at least a single. 1 run is in. A runner goes and rounds third base. Megan is coming on to home, and she scores. So a big stand-up double for Sarah Davis and 2 RBIs. So what a shot. This one hit the fence. And it's still a 5-3 ball game. But that one was a little too close. Swing and a miss. There's a strike. 3 out, 2. 2 down now. Lady Devils 1 out away from moving on to unfound territory. As they say in Star Trek, going where no man has ever gone before. Well, our softball team is on the verge of going where we have never gone before, and that's the 3rd round of the state playoffs.
Into Sarah down in the paint. Good. Off the blocks.
And Sarah Davis at the plate. Leading batting average in Western North Carolina, hitting .571. And that pitch looked good for a strike. Marlon Cunningham gets back to second base now. Coach Toby Burrell in the box down at third base, of course, would like nothing better than to push this run across. There's a shot. This one's going to be in the gap, and it's going to be in. The run is going to score, and Sarah Davis is going to head into second base, and we have a tie ball game. What a shot by Sarah Davis, a stand-up double for the junior, and you can hear the Lady Devils in the dugout as they definitely like that double by Sarah Davis.
Next up, we have our patron for this year, Dr. John Maddox. Dr. Maddox received his doctorate of pharmacy from the University of Tennessee. He was a veteran of the United States Air Force, loved to fly, was a captain and pilot of the Western Carolina Civil Air Patrol. He owned and operated Swain drugstore for over 30 years. As a pharmacist, he was always willing to go out in the middle of the night to fill prescriptions for people who needed them. Along with Dr. Mitchell, he served as the only veterinarian in Swain County when there were no other veterinarians living in the county. He's a contributor of videotaping all events in Swain County. He videotaped many Swain County high school events, including athletics and in particular football. He would replay the games in his drugstore for folks who couldn't make the games at no charge to them. He was a major contributor in bringing computer technology into Swain County. Dr. John Maddox, patron and forerunner to the Maroon Devil Network. Our final inductee of the night is our team inductee for this year, the 2004 Maroon Devil State Football Championship team. The 2004 edition of Maroon Devil football secured Swain County's 7th state championship. They finished for only the 3rd time in school history with a perfect 14-0 record. They were Western Regional champions, along with Smoky Mountain Conference champions. In the North Carolina High School Athletic Association State 1A championship game, they defeated Southside 16-14. On the season, they scored 569 points for a 40.64 average, and they gave up only 125 points on the season for an 8.9 average per game. They accumulated 5,107 total yards on offense, while giving up only 2,858. They outscored opponents an amazing 384-48 in the first half of games. A senior-led team which featured 19 total seniors, they set 9 individual and team school records over the season. They also had 3 first-team All-Western North Carolina selections. The 2004 Maroon Devil football team, State 1A champions.
The double back set. Cody White up the middle. He's already with a first down at the 34-yard line. Cody White, who has had an incredible career as a Maroon Devil. 4th down and 2. A bunch of guys. Got 8 guys in the box for the Devils on defense. Misdirection handoff. Haywood didn't get it. He's knocked down again, and I think it was Cody White that got a hand on him. And then Mitchell Green put the final stop, and the Seahawks turned the ball over to the Devils. What a great defensive stand. Nothing, south side up. They got a 3-man front now. Scotty McMahon, quarterback draw play to the 15, all the way to the 10, inside the 10. That's a Maroon Devil first down and goal to go. A touchdown difference might win it, folks. Toss to the left side. Cody is in the end zone. Touchdown. He fumbled, but I think he broke the plane. That should be a touchdown. He broke the plane. Yes, yes indeed. It's a Maroon Devil touchdown. There's no question about that call. Here come the Hawks now. First down. Back to throw. Chandler left side. He's got a man open, but it's going to be picked off over there. Doing it again. We've got a penalty flag down. Coming up with it is Josh Anthony. Anthony has picked off 8 balls this year. Their colors, navy blue, teal and gold, as you can see, and also some white. Back to throw. Scotty on the run. He's got his man. It's a first down at the 38-yard line. Scotty McMahon has plenty of time to throw, and now he's going to have to take off and run, and he's got some room. Scotty out to the 45, and he's out of bounds at the 50. Great decision by quarterback Scotty McMahon. Back to throw now is Scotty again. He's got a man open, and he's got him. That's Justin. No, check that. Josh Anthony. Josh down to the 20, all the way to the 15, and a penalty flag. State championship hopes could ride on this play. 4th down and goal from the 15. We're going to have to throw the football. Scotty has plenty of time. He's got a man wide open, and he's got a touchdown for Cody White, and the Maroon Devils are on the board again. Hold on to your hat. Oh, high snap. It goes into the end zone. It's going to go out of the end zone. This could be the state championship play. That is out of the end zone. That is a 2-point safety. That is unbelievable. 1:25 to play, and I don't believe I just saw that, fans. It's back to throw. Chandler is going to be trying to throw it long. He throws. It's going to be knocked down. And that's it. The clock runs out, and the Maroon Devils win it 16-14 for our 7th state championship.
Mitchell Green.
What just happened? Not for a while. It ain't hit me, it's just a blur. That third and fourth quarter is blurred. But I can tell you this, you faced an opponent right there that came to win too, didn't they? This game's funny. This game is strange. Right there's what it looks like. Right there's what it feels like. Y'all had a mission all your life, didn't you, big boy? If your wrist is broke right now, is it worth it? Machine! Machine! Machine!
And that was a wonderful piece. Kudos to Joe Holt for filming that, and the Hall of Fame, the 4 folks, of course, are not individuals. There's 3 individuals in one team. So I blew that last time. I apologize for that. But steaming right along in the Maroon Strong pregame show, let's take a look at what happened in the Smoky Mountain Conference last week while we sat idly by and rested a little bit. A big one over at Hayesville. Rosman coming away with a huge 35-13 win over the Yellow Jackets.
They looked good.
I don't think anybody saw that coming, to be honest with you.
Nope.
And then the other 2 games, no surprises there. Robbinsville remained unbeaten with a 49-15 win over Andrews. And then the only surprise probably for most people in Cherokee Murphy games, the score of the game is the Bulldogs winners, but by a big margin, 56-20 over the Braves. So that was a little bit surprising in the size of that. It's one of those cases where everybody's trying to figure out if Rosman and Cherokee are for real, and we'll have to figure that out on our own here in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, well, Cherokee had been playing really well up to that point. Heck, they'd won 2 conference games up to this point, which is, if you've been following the conference the last few years, is a big deal for them.
It is.
I mean, they hadn't won in a couple of years. So
it is a very big deal. As a matter of fact, let's take a look at those standings. Sitting atop, of course, still tied with perfect 2-0 records are Robbinsville and Murphy. Robbinsville was 6-0. Murphy's at 5-2 now. And so that's the top of the standings. And then surprisingly, as we just said, in second place, Rosman and Cherokee tied at 1-1 each, both with losing records. But that's a good start for both of those teams who have been at the bottom of the standings for the last.
They've been at the bottom looking up for a while now. But right now, you got to tell them. I mean, as we stand right now, we're behind them in the standings, Coach. So.
And I think that's the other big surprise is at the bottom, still looking for their first win in the Smoky Mountain Conference. Swain, Hayesville, and Andrews. Swain and Hayesville, 2 teams who aren't normally in that situation. So a big game in terms of that one. Other big games this week in the conference, the biggest of them all, and perhaps the biggest in Western North Carolina, is over at Big Oak Stadium with Robbinsville hosting Murphy. So that one's huge for standings.
Yeah, Murphy coming off a big win against Cherokee, and Robbinsville keeps on steam rolling along. They look right now like they're the class of the conference. Obviously, before our bye, we played them, and we fought hard. 21-7 loss. Just need to put some sticky hands on some people here because we've got to control the football a little bit better.
Well, the big thing coming out of that one over there is, of course, the Maroon Devils really need in an awkward position of needing Murphy to win that football game. If Murphy wins, then that puts both of them with 1 loss us in Robbinsville, who we've already seen, and puts the last game of the season with a huge implications if we can win that one. So the only way the Maroon Devils can get back into the conference chase is basically for Murphy to win that football game tonight. If Robbinsville wins, it's lights out.
So I guess go Bulldogs?
Unfortunately, that's what we're left saying.
As a Georgia Tech fan and a Swain fan, you're not going to hear that out of my mouth very often.
That one hurts, but yeah, that's where we're at with that. In other action, let's see, we've got Andrews going to Rosman, and again, that's going to be a chance for those two teams to answer where they're at with their season. Probably a bigger game in terms of Rosman than it is for Andrews.
Yeah, Andrews, so far, I think the early results are Andrews is probably going to be, don't want to use bad terms, but an also-ran at this point, given what they've done so far. So Rosman could get their second conference win just like that, and hey, they're in the talk. It's been a while for the Tigers, so I know those fans will be ready to travel down. I believe that's at Andrews, if I'm not mistaken.
I think it's at Rosman.
Okay,
that's where I've got it. But who knows? With the way things are listed on Max Preps, that's the way it's listed. So we'll see. But again, a big game for the Tigers. They could easily come out of that 2-1, and with a pretty firm stronghold there on second/third place, depending on where that is. And of course, for the smaller schools, it doesn't affect Swain in the same way. It affects us probably more than it does the small schools, but that has a lot to do with where they get seeded when the playoffs come around.
Yeah, and I don't believe Rosman's been in the playoffs for quite some time, so that's a big game for them to get a second conference win. Especially with the way things go in the playoff seeding system, where you can, like Hayesville. Case in point, Hayesville last year with a losing record getting in. Right. Of course, we've hosted several teams that come in here with losing records, but losing records or not, the season restarts. So anything you can do to get in that to get in the playoffs at all, So
and the other surprise team, of course, Cherokee has the week off this week in conference play. They'll go back into action next week against Swain in the traditional county rivalry game, which will be huge when that comes around. But the Maroon Devils, a huge game for us tonight. And, we can't say it enough. Tonight is a huge contest for these Maroon Devils, and most people will underestimate that. They'll think it's not as big a deal as it is. But here's where it makes the most difference, folks. You got to think of it like this, and Maroon Devil fans are savvy, so they understand what I'm getting ready to say. Tonight's contest and the rest of the season is the difference of us hosting a team like West Montgomery or going to a place like West Montgomery when the playoffs start.
Absolutely.
If you're looking at a third seed out of the Smoky Mountain Conference in the Big 1A playoffs, you will not be at home. Not one single game. You'll be on the road every week because you'll be lower than an 8 seed. So another loss in the conference is something the Maroon Devils cannot afford. They cannot afford a trip up to a hungry team like Hayesville. Both of these teams are desperate almost, if you want to look at it like that, Tom. Neither have won in the Smoky Mountain Conference yet, and it is dire straits for both Hayesville and Swain entering tonight's contest.
Yeah. Well, you can't overlook any conference game. I don't care if it's Andrews. I don't care if it's Rosman. These are the games at home against a team I think on paper we should beat that you absolutely have to win. You can't have a stumble because you're right, because we're already a game behind. We're already in a position where we're rooting for Murphy. And then you get back to controlling your own destiny with a Murphy win, but you've got to beat the teams that you're supposed to beat, especially at home,
Yeah. And this is a huge stretch in that tonight's home game marks the end of our home season. Essentially, we've got one of the next 4 at home, so we're going to be on the road to a lot of places. We already talked about an improved Rosman team, an improved Cherokee team. We got to go to Cherokee. Rosman comes here, and then we got to go to Murphy. So it's not an easy road, but it's one we're going to have to travel. And so this is a huge game tonight with tons of implications that most people won't even think about, but those are key for the Maroon Devils in tonight's game. Just statistically looking at both teams, I think you've got Hayesville's leaders there. Tell us a little bit about the Jackets.
Yeah, Hayesville, they've got a kid named Weston Acosta. He's rushed for 261 yards so far, so pretty accomplished on the ground. But he's their quarterback. He's thrown for 222. He returns kicks. He's had a good year returning kicks. Defensively, they've got a kid named Jace Tanner with 78 tackles, so that kid's carrying the water for him right now. Also got Jacob Matheson and the Acosta kid. Again, both of them have chipped in 50 tackles. So it's a team that's going to come to play, and I don't care. We mentioned it a little bit before. If we don't hold on to the football,
right.
I mean, you're not going to win a lot of games fumbling the ball like we have the last couple of weeks. We were lucky to get away with one at Tuscola. Last week it bit us at Robbinsville, especially a ball-control team like that.
Yeah, and I don't think it's near as much, again, we have intelligent fans, so they understand what we're saying. It's not so much the turnover as it is putting the ball on the ground and stalling out drives.
I know. I mean, it seems like every time we got inside the 20, we ran into the trouble. I mean, between the 20s, we're going gangbusters, but something about that goal line's giving us a little bit of a bugaboo.
It is. Red zone offense has been a little bit of a problem for the Maroon Devils, and just to illustrate that point, 6 fumbles at Tuscola. We didn't give one of those away, but each one of them were critical in basically stalling out a Swain drive.
Well, you're giving away a down. So instead of picking up, even if you pick up 2 or 3 yards, instead of 3rd and 3s, you got 3rd and 8s.
Right.
In an offense that over the years likes to run, 3rd and 8's a big difference between 3rd and 2 and 3rd and 3.
It is a huge difference. And for the Maroon Devils, of course, we entered tonight's game with Spencer McCoy as the leading rusher for Swain, and he is right now 4th in the Smoky Mountain Conference with 380 yards. Jordan Cody, of course, we've talked about what a weapon Jordan has been all year. He leads the Smoky Mountain Conference with 395 receiving yards. So we'll look to get Jordan involved again tonight, I'm sure, in a variety of ways. We've seen him at the running back spot.
They ran the Wildcat. Yeah. And when you got a playmaker like that kid, anything you can do to get the ball in his hands.
Right.
Everything we can do. And, obviously we start out the year, we're throwing the ball pretty well. I'd really love to see us get back to that, to get into that balanced attack, because, man, it makes it so difficult to defend the run when there's a possibility you can pop the ball down long to Jordan Cody.
Absolutely.
As evidence that Smoky Mountain game. I mean, that long pass in the second quarter completely opened that game up.
Changed the whole complexion of the football game.
And it only takes 1 or 2 sometimes to get things going.
And don't forget what kind of weapon Jordan has become in the kick and punt returning areas of the game as well. So that was huge for the Maroon Devils. On defense in the conference, the entire 5 people listed are either Hayesville or Swain. Ross Inslee and Taylor Orris, of course, the 2 key cogs for the Maroon Devils in that top 5. And and the defense is going to sort of be front and center again tonight. They've been solid all year long. It's just a question of whether they get put in awkward field positions.
Yeah, well, you look at a team like Robbinsville that's putting up 40 and 50 points every week. We gave them 21. You look at that defensive performance at Tuscola, what we did to Smoky Mountain. The defense has controlled some tempo, and it kept us in a lot of games where, frankly, with the fumbles, we might have gotten away with us if it hadn't been for good defense.
Right.
And talking about Taylor Orris, now we have a little bit of an injury situation with him, do we not?
Yeah, we do. He's going to be questionable tonight, and that's a huge loss for the Maroon Devils if he's unable to go. He'll be a game-time decision, so it'll be up to Gary and Steve to let you know if number 12 is out there for the Maroon Devils. He's a key component, and I don't think it was any coincidence at all last Friday that the Black Knights were able to get their running game going after Taylor got hurt.
Yeah, he is definitely a fire plug in the middle, and not to mention the fact that on offense, he tears off some nice runs here and there too. So you hate to lose anybody, but Taylor right now I think is a pretty key component to how we're going to do the rest of the way going on. So we wish him well, and we'll find out in a few minutes whether we're going to see him on the ball field tonight.
And I think honestly, if Coach Neil Blankenship had his druthers and had Taylor for only one side of the ball, he would be on the defensive side.
Absolutely.
Just because of his leadership in that defense, he understands what that role is, and that's not a knock against anybody who's coming in for him, but it's a learning process.
Oh, sure. Absolutely.
In the Swain defense to learn what every role is, and Taylor knows that, and he's able to direct traffic out there. Not to mention, he's pretty much a tackling machine when he gets going.
He sure is. And you're right, though, too, especially if he's going to go one way, the defense is away. We've got some kids that can tote the rock right now. Derek Fortner's come in and given us some good yards. Of course, we got, McCoy, who's been a staple for us. So I think if we're going to get some miles out of Mr. Orris today, we're probably going to see mostly on the defensive side. But we'll see.
We'll see.
Yep.
And that Derek Fortner will be a substitute either way on offense or defense. Derek will be in that spot, and we hope that Taylor's able to play tonight. As far as our other injuries go, Taylor's questionable. Jordan Cody was the other injury coming out of the Robbinsville game. He's good to go. He's fine. But we did lose Brody Sitton for the season, so that's some of that depth in the backfield that we talked about.
Yep.
A breather for Spencer McCoy on the defensive side of the ball, and Brody unfortunately injured himself on the block punt, the big play for the Maroon Devils when we blocked the punt, and Brody went in to scoop that up and injured his knee. And is gone for the season. So that's a tough loss, and we hate it for Brody, and wish him all the best as he goes on the road to recovery with this knee injury. We hope everything goes well for him.
Yeah, wish him a speedy recovery. He's a nice young man and a good football player. So get healthy and get back after it. Yeah, you always hate to see that, but fortunately for Brody, he's a junior, so he will be able to get himself healthy before next football season and have his senior year. Now, another factor that may come into play tonight, and we don't know, you probably know better than we do sitting there watching the pregame show, but weather may factor into this thing. Well, not to mention the fact it's been a rainy past week, and that moisture, of course, is not as warm out as it's been, so that moisture, the field's going to hold a little moisture, and especially when you've got kids that might that are already maybe hurting a little bit. All it takes is one slip and fall. So hopefully everybody will stay safe and healthy this evening. Yeah, well, and the field conditions may play into that. That'll be something Gary and Steve get into as we get ready for kickoff, which is coming right around the corner. Yep, it's football time. No doubt about it. So we've got a big night planned ahead for you. Thanks for making the Maroon Strong pregame show part of it. And what's coming your way next? Hopefully a good football game. The Maroon Devils, the Yellow Jackets going at it again. Halftime. Stay tuned for that. We're going to crown a homecoming queen. That's always nice to see the young ladies out in their beautiful dresses and the guys in their fancy frocks as they escort them out on the field. And that's always nice to see. And so stay tuned for an extra long halftime ceremony, and we'll cover all that for you as well. Right now, kickoff is coming your way next, and we're going to send it over to Gary Ayers and Steve Moon. Take it away, guys.